Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell, Youth Services Director at the B.B. Comer Memorial Library here in Sylacauga. Before I get started with the program, I want to thank TV47 for all they do to help us put on our program. We enjoy getting to letting the community know of events going on and things happening in and around our area, and today is no exception. We're going to talk about one of my favorite things. It's the Sylacauga Arts Council, and joining me is the president of the Sylacauga Arts Council, Dr. Ted Spears, and our vice president membership, Kathy Bozeman. So thank you two for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great, great. All right, I guess we can, I've already told what your position is with the Arts Council, and I know you've both been involved for several years. What is the Arts Council, the mission of the Arts Council, and what does the Arts Council do?
Well, the Arts Council, as it was originally set up, was to provide artistic entertainment and artistic opportunities for both children and adults in the community. Yes. And they've been really true to that particular situation because we haven't deviated over the years. We do better on some years than we did in others, but for the most part, when Beth Yates, and she was the person who had the idea of the Arts Council, she wanted the Arts Council to exist and able to help the schools and help the students and bring art education and music, dance, strings, instruments into the schools. And she had a great deal of help. Mrs. Gross was with her. Letty Byram was one of the founders. Ann Gray was one of the founders. Shirley Cardwell, and of course Beth. And then Maxie came along later and worked with them. And so from that point on, every year they tried to do something extremely significant for the students and the community. Over the years, we've had people like Al Hurt and Pete Fountain, some outstanding people, but we discovered that we could spend a lot of money and have one big occasion or one big blowout, and that really wouldn't affect the community. And so we shied away from that and putting our money into the community because times change. And this year, for example, and I know I'm jumping from the history to the present year, because of COVID-19, the Arts Council Executive Board made a decision that we would make it the same thing that we had last year, available to all the schools. And that was something like, what, $2,000, $3,000 that we have, and $500 per school. And we get the county schools in the area, Fayetteville, B.B. Comer, Sycamore, which is at Winterboro. We got Winterboro involved, and all four of the Sylacauga schools. We said, we want you to submit an application, and we want it to be in arts, but don't worry about it. And the reason, we know that with the COVID situation, that we're in school or we're out of school, we're here 3 days, we're gone 2 days.
Such an unknown.
The situation has been crazy, and we didn't want to make things worse for the teachers. We wanted to make it easier. And we said, you know, if you can stand up and walk, you're going to get a grant this year.
Right.
And so that we took that into consideration because the teachers, as well as the parents, are really under fire all this year. And we thought that we would give them the leeway to do whatever they want to do in the way of arts. And they, worried about Chromebooks and computers and virtual and real and all that. And then the health concerns. And we think that we need to be one of the good guys. And so Kathy and Teresa and Judy and the whole group agreed with us. So we've done that. Over the years, we brought in the Birmingham Theater, and we stopped that a few years ago, and we did it every year. And the reason is that it was such a liability to get kids bused in from all the different schools to a certain location. And if some schools were out, the schedule was different, or if they had a special occasion. It was just too much trouble. We decided what we would do, instead of having them come to us, we would go to them through the grants program.
Yes.
And I know that you've got some grants there that you might want to cover somewhere in the conversation. But we find that it puts the money into the school, and the teachers can do what they want to. It can be as elaborate or it can be as simple as they think is important. And so one of those things, and Kathy, I know that you have been in there long enough and participated long enough that you probably could add some things that just tell us something about your observations as a young person coming into the Arts Council.
Yes, it's a wonderful organization. I'm very privileged to be a part of it. I feel like that we do so much for the community. The grants that we offer, the teachers in the local schools are just wonderful. We've done, the teachers have been so creative in their grants, spending of their grants.
Yes, the grants are one of my favorite things. I think I love the other two, it's great, but the grants have been one of my favorite things. And what we do is ask each school to submit a grant. Now, it's nothing difficult. It's a one-page, what are you going to do with the money, and what's the money going to purchase for, to use for your students? Because like you said, every school is a little different. They have different needs, different things like that. Some of the schools in the past have done things like paint and donate. That was from the older children at B.B. Comer High School. They were learning to give and be kind of work with community service, I guess. They would paint some things and donate them to the nursing home. That's a wonderful thing. Sylacauga High School did some artwork with the art teacher, a certain kind of artwork, and they displayed that at the high school. That was fun. Sycamore had, they do not have an art teacher, but they have an art club, and this provided just basic art tools, crayons, paints, all of those type things. And that teacher was so excited. She came into the library one day, several months later, and said, "Oh, I'm so excited." They just really enjoyed that so much. One more, and my children have taken advantage of this when they were at the high school. Sometimes they will take the grant money and offset the cost of some students to go to the Shakespeare Festival and see maybe a Christmas Carol, a Shakespeare play, and how exciting for students to be able to see live theater. It's not something we see all the time. There's not always a chance to do that, and right now people don't, maybe can't travel, or there's not money for that. So that is something very exciting, and I appreciated it kind of cut the price for my children to go to that, and that was great. It was a lot of fun. Where does all this money come from, Kathy?
Yes, it comes from you. We just have a opportunity for you to join with us, and it's very simple. We just ask for a donation. Basically, we call it a membership, but there's no obligation with the money. We have the single membership for $25 a year. So it's very reasonable. And then we have other memberships available for your family, a little bit more, and businesses. We have lots of the local businesses joining with us now, and we're very proud of that and very excited about that they're partnering with us to do these endeavors that we have with our schools.
That is great. We're going to pause for a commercial break, and we'll come back and find out how you can donate to us.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room, to surgery, to cancer treatment, to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick, in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with the president and vice president of the Sylacauga Arts Council. Dr. Ted Spears is our president, and Kathy Bozeman is the vice president in charge of membership. And Kathy, just before we went to commercial break, we were talking about how you can join.
Right. We have lots of ways that you can join. We have a Facebook page.
Right.
It's Sylacauga Arts Council. Just search for that, and you should be able to find that. And you can see an image of it here on the screen. You can make posts, you can make comments. We want you to follow us on Facebook. We talk about our events as we're going along.
Right.
And we also put a lot of links there to our website, which you're seeing a photo of that right here, talking about our different facets of our activities for the Arts Council. And we also have an online form where you can join the Arts Council, and we have a link there to download a paper application. So if you don't feel comfortable entering your information online and paying through PayPal, you can actually download and mail in your application and money to join. So
I did mine online. It was very simple.
Good.
Very
good.
simple, so it's really good to do. And that money, I mean, the more money we have, the more money we can give.
Right.
I think we
right,
talked about that.
right.
I was going to throw out just a few of the other grants. I'm sorry I'm taking too much time myself, but a few of the other grants that I thought were just very creative, I think. One of them is a lady at Sycamore several years ago, the Science Club sponsor. And my first thought was, well, why would the Science Club need a grant for arts? But she used it to talk about colors, which is definitely science, but it's arts too. Color wheels, forming rainbows with light refraction, mixing colors, changing the color of flowers, marbleized paper from milk, chromatography butterflies, and discovering sound waves with different instrumental pitches. Very creative, I thought. I actually went to the school to watch her teach one of the lessons, and I said, I just want to come see. I think this is so fascinating.
Yeah.
She was very creative. There are different things like the show choir at the high school needed money to legally perform their shows. They have copyrights or legal rights for shows. Well, that's teaching the students that if you're going to do it, you need to do it the right way. Some schools have had UAB Shakespeare Company come, UAB Theater Cabaret, and UAB Kids to perform. So those type performances, for $500, they've touched maybe 500 or 550 students per school.
Yes.
So it's really nice. I know we talked about a lot of students, a lot of children do not get to see live theater. Well, now that we have Community Playhouse, there isn't a chance for that, but before there was none. But it's so nice. I think it's real important. And we were going to talk some about why the art's so important to students.
You know, it seems that, well, two things. Talking about the grants. Last year, the Fayetteville School had a grant that they presented where they were going to have each student would have a guitar and learn to play the guitar, and they were going to have a concert, and every kid in school was going to participate. Of course, the COVID thing eliminated that, but I hope that they'll pick that back up, because that's a fascinating sort of thing when you can put a guitar of some size, shape, or description, or a mandolin, or a violin, or some sort of strings. And that was one of the original purposes of the Arts Council, is to get the string instruments into the school. Yeah. Well, Fayetteville is going to make everybody have one, and I think it was just a wonderful idea. But there's all sorts of research that is pointing out that those students who have participated in the arts in the school make better grades, they make better citizens, they have more success in life, they have more success in college. as a result of it. And so in that sense, in many instances, the absence of arts in schools show up drastically in times like short money, fewer taxes, the ugly word of proration, where the schools got reduced. They were promised a certain amount of money, and it because of no income tax or school tax, they had to cancel it. But Dr. Smith, Robert and Jane Smith, did some research the first time that I noticed this, is what happens to people who have arts opportunities in school rather than those who don't have it.
Okay.
And what they found is just what we knew all along, is that those children are very successful. Recently, it caught up with us in the occupation world. I talked to a recruiter for one of the major companies. He said one of the things that we look at now when we interview prospective employees is, did they have any art, drama, singing, on-stage presence,
Oh my goodness.
debate, those things, and then especially if there was any acting or play acting or a dramatic drama clubs or what have you that they participated in. Is what we found out is that people who have that are not shy in speaking to an audience. They're not shy. They can sing, they can dance, they can talk, they can do all these exciting things. And he said that, as far as we're concerned, that is the clinching thing. But we'll take someone who had these things, had the drama, had the music, had the dance, all of these things, we'll take them over someone who did not have that experience. Because for the most part, the very least that they do for us is have a stage presence. And we don't want anybody making a presentation about our product and they're not doing it correctly or not doing it with a dynamic that will certainly grab the audience's attention and help our sales. So now the art is just coming along great. And so I know this particular person that I talked to said, my daughter was majoring in physics, and I paid for another semester just so she could continue the work that she was doing with the drama club and the stage plays in which she had participated.
Yes.
And surely enough, just like you snapping your finger, she got job offers when the other kids didn't get job offers. And when she went for the interview, she was prepared to talk to strangers. And you know, tell them and sell herself. And you know, it's just really important. So we did not have that as an original goal, but it has turned out that society is demanding kind of the things that we've been providing through the Arts Council all along. And then the schools have done a wonderful job, and the teachers have done a wonderful job. But it's an element that even though the older group before the Sylacauga Playhouse group we've got now, the Sylacauga Players, they had put on 2 or 3 shows a year, and now it's coming back. And by the way, we support the current group also. And it's just becoming more important. And as we've seen with the COVID, parents and teachers who didn't have any experience with Facebook or Zoom or videos were at a handicap or at a loss. They might do computers and a job of statistics, but when it started with the face appearing and doing things that we weren't really as well prepared as we should have been. And now, so we think that one of the good things and one of the few good things will come out of the COVID-19 is going to be more awareness of, I've got to get better at presenting myself and understanding technology and what it will do in the world of education. Just focus 5-10 years down the road, and it'll be far more important than it is now. We're complaining and griping about, well, I don't want to stay home from school. I'm going to go see my friends. I think that we're going to be living with the results, and it will be good that it forced us into a technology that we didn't have. And the Arts Council can be proud of the part that they've had in that.
Right.
So I thought that the Smith study, but more
That's
importantly, the person that I talked to, who was a recruiter, put me on that, and up to that point, I had not thought too much about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will say that, and God, the name escapes me right now, but one of the people from the drama department, the history department at Auburn, came and did a brown bag program for us. And the story that goes with him is that he had been on stage, and not only was he going to school and get his PhD in history, but he continued his acting. And when he interviewed for the job at Auburn in the history department, they require all the interviewers to teach a sample class.
Okay.
And the sample class that he taught, the students in the class stood and gave him a standing ovation.
Oh my goodness.
He automatically got the job as a
Yes.
result of not history, even though he was a great
Yeah.
historian, but it was the drama experience that he
Yeah.
had, and the fact that he had appeared in plays on the campus and major
Wow.
cities and different places. And so you never know
That is
what,
true.
what we're doing and how we're reaching them. But art education is extremely important. And I think that, so one of the things that COVID-19, if there's anything good to come out of it,
Right.
it's going to force us to become better as parents, as teachers,
Right.
as organizations, business people, civic club members. We'll have to do a better job.
Right. I think it's also taught us to be creative. School teachers, parents, business people to be creative, and that definitely is part of the arts.
Yes.
That left brain, right brain, all of that, being creative. So.
Another thing that happens, I don't know of any other one thing that has made parents appreciate teachers in schools as much
That's
as
true.
what we have now.
That's true, yeah.
When will y'all take them back? Please come get them. And
Oh, gosh.
we've had it. And so I think that was really an idea that people had never considered before, but now it's a reality that they know. I want the schools to have the best they can, because I promise you that the ones that I've been teaching, I've wanted to send them to timeout all the time. And you can't do
I
that.
know. Well,
But it's
listen,
a wonderful opportunity.
it is. We're going to pause for another commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Welcome back to Library Connection. We're talking about the Sylacauga Arts Council. I know we've been talking about how important the arts are to the students in our area, and I agree. And I can talk a little bit more. I know I've known one student who was came to the library a lot, was involved in Community Playhouse, and just blossomed. I don't think she ever took dance or drama, or just didn't want to, growing up, but came to Community Playhouse and she found her niche. It was great. Now I think a lot of students who, she's in college now, I'm not sure if she's performing, but I think it helped her to grow up, come out of a little bit of mature shyness too. I know a lot of kids when they're in school, maybe they don't want to sing or dance or be in theater as a career, but it's a great way to get scholarships for school. That's I guess it's not a minor thing. My kids have not been out of school that long. I remember the great scholarships and all those. And if they've had some introduction to it in school, before they get to college, then they know maybe what they might want to pursue, whether it's for a career or just a hobby or scholarships. So I'm real appreciative of what the Arts Council does here. And I like that they use local people too. I know Craig Brown has done some programs, Whitman Gallery, other people have been involved, so I like using our local people too. Tell us one more time, Kathy, how to join.
We try to make it as easy as possible. We have a Facebook page, and it has links to our forms that you can use, and then we have our website, and it's very easy to find. Sylacauga Arts AL.org is the website URL, but we have links to it all over the Facebook, so you should be able to find it. And if you can't find it, just contact the library and they can help you get in touch with us.
Right. Now, if somebody joins, do they have to come to meetings or anything like that?
There is no obligation to attend any meetings or to have any decisions to make. All you do is donate.
Right, and your money goes to provide the arts for the schools.
There is no overhead either, Mandy.
Oh,
we
okay.
don't have any, expenses really.
Right.
So,
Okay.
to speak of.
All volunteers, we have no payroll to do.
Right. That's
And
true.
it's been that way all along. These people make sacrifices in order to work on the grants, to do the things that Kathy's doing. And maybe we need to look at next year, or maybe even this year, to bring arts more into the invitation to join the Arts Council. Here's what can happen if you join the Arts Council.
That's true. That's
So that was a wonderful thing that Kathy has done with bringing us screaming and crying into the 21st century.
Well, I know if I get a form, I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this, and I set it down, and something gets set on top of it. So, but if it comes across Facebook or something like that across my computer, I'm thinking, oh yes, I got to remember to do that. So we are very glad, Kathy, that you've done that to make it easier to join. Very simple to join, and know that your money is going to the schools in our area to help students. And be looking for other events and things we have coming up. The Marble Festival, I know did not happen this past year, but there was some work behind the scenes, and you'll find out about that a little bit later on. We have dinner theater. Not sure if it's going to happen this year because of COVID-19, but that's another fun evening for adults. But thank you guys so much for coming, for what you do for our community and for the Arts Council, and thank you so much for joining me on Library Connection today. And thank you, and hope to see you at the library very soon.